Hi, I'm Christine Hayes, Group Editor-in-Chief of BBC Good Food and Olive. Welcome everyone to this, our latest Stay Safe, Get Inspired Facebook Live session. Every Thursday, we bring together editors from much-loved magazines and websites, and today it's BBC Good Food, BBC Music Magazine, and Your Home Magazine, all part of Immediate's family of brilliant brands. Each week, our expert editors bring you ideas and things to do while we're still spending a lot of time at our home. So are you thinking about what DI projects you could start? Want to find the best online streaming performances? Or are you keen for some inspiration in the kitchen? If so, we've got just the people to help out. As I'm joined today by Mel Sherwood of Your Home, Oliver Condy of BBC Music Magazine, and first up, my colleague, Lulu Grimes of BBC Good Food. Hi, Lulu.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. So, it's raining today. But having said that, I've kind of started packing away all the comfort food I've been eating while we've been in lockdown. And I'm looking outside and thinking I'm going to have to, start wearing shorts soon. Is everyone else cooking summer food now and thinking about eating more healthily?
I think, yes, there's still a lot of comfort food eating going on, particularly baking, which we've been seeing a massive amount of recently. Our new issue's got burgers on the cover, so we're hoping for sunshine very soon. I think the weather forecast is much better for the weekend. And yeah, we've got a new burger which actually has the cheese on the inside, so it melts out when you cut into it rather than the cheese on top, though of course you can add cheese on top as well, and a fantastic new vegan burger as well if you're not eating meat. But also the other thing that sort of we've noticed a lot of is a lot more people are looking for slightly lighter recipes. While we've all been in lockdown and eating quite a lot of cake, speak for myself there, people are now looking for a lot more recipes that slightly healthier, let's say, more salad based. And we've been running, and we will be running across a few issues, what we call our healthy diet plan, which you can sign up for on the website. But in the issue that's out now, we've got sort of lighter breakfast ideas, give you a sort of bit of a change from the endless slices of sourdough toast that I've been eating. Also in the issue, some quite nice drinks, summery drinks. We've got how to make a really easy raspberry vodka, for which you need, vodka, raspberries and sugar. You do have to wait 2 to 3 weeks, which is a bit of a problem. But anyway, it's very easy. And we've got some other nice kind of summery recipes. It's absolutely fantastic, actually. The best thing, and we tested a lot of these before actually we went into lockdown in the test kitchen. And I remember the rice pakoras, which are absolutely fantastic. And that's such a brilliant thing to do if you've got leftover rice, which I do quite often.
Oh, is that the rice pakora that's from My Good Food, the members bit on the website?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
There's lots of great recipes actually that our members upload, as well as recipes that we write ourselves.
Okay. And then thinking again, sort of topically, it's Father's Day coming up week after next, I think. What's a good gift to give your dad if he's a bit of a foodie?
Well, we've got a whole list of stuff. There's a new Father's Day gift guide for 2020 on the website. There's everything. I mean, it really depends. I mean, my father, another bottle of gin, probably. Well, he gives, he likes gin. So we've got everything from 8-year-old scotch to maybe you'd want to give your dad, I don't know, a cheese subscription or a beer subscription. We've got some kitchen gadgets if, dad likes cooking. We've got spices, all sorts of things, really. And in fact, actually, we recently released a podcast which was all about sort of online gifts that you can send people, which is really useful. So all that stuff's on there. And there's also a review of cheese subscriptions online.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, I think lots of dads are into cheese, aren't they? Cheese and beer as well. Beer subscriptions, I think, have been quite popular too.
Yeah, they have, definitely. Yeah, all these wine boxes. Yeah, all sorts of things.
Fair enough. So I enjoy cooking, and I think most of the sort of good food audience do. However, I also really enjoy going out to eat, and of course that's been stymied because all of the restaurants have been closed. And I'm getting a bit fed up actually of like cooking every single day, 3 meals a day. What can you advise for those of us who actually just want to take a bit of a break?
Well, it's not, to be honest, it's not even just taking a bit of a break. I read a really funny piece actually in the New York Times recently about people who just hate cooking. and this has been a total misery for them, being sort of shut at home and having to cook everything. And there's also some really funny stuff around about, the kind of things that people have used. If they've never had to cook before. And if you've never had to cook before, you might not even know where to start. So one of the things, again, we've noticed is quite a lot of our 5 ingredient or fewer recipes have been doing much better. I mean, there's everything from things you can bake, like there's a peanut butter cookie which has 3 ingredients, through to, loads and loads of things you can do with a packet of ramen. So not everyone loves cooking. Some people really have just got a bit tired of it. Personally, I'm just tired of washing up and constantly tidying the kitchen. But that's a mixture of cooking and doing recipe testing at the same time. Yeah, so I think it's one of those things, for good food. Obviously, we assume that everyone loves cooking, but I think for some people it is a bit of a chore.
Fair enough. So you think if you search recipes of people who don't like cooking, that you'll find BBC Good Food recipes come up?
Quite possibly. I mean, there's loads of stuff. There's loads of stuff on the website that where you take 3 packets and you just put them together, and that's still food and it's still cooking.
That's true. And then if all else fails, there's always takeaway, I guess.
That's right.
All right, Lulu. Lovely. Thanks very much. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you soon. Hi, Mel. How are you doing?
Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. Classic. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. So we're all quite familiar with our homes at the moment, aren't we? Even though restrictions have eased, we're still spending a lot of time at home. And many of us are getting quite tired of being within the same 4 walls. Have you got any tips on what we can do to keep our homes happy places that we want to spend more time in?
Yeah, absolutely. It is getting quite tiring now, isn't it? I think a lot of us, even if we are in the luxury of having, in the luxurious position of having designed our homes and decorated our homes to our own taste, no one ever thought we'd have to put up with it for this long. So I think there's a couple of simple things that can be really helpful for us at the moment. One of them is don't look at your house as a whole. This is not the normal advice from me, but at the moment, don't look at your house as a whole and think, the whole thing is a nightmare. Try and focus on the spaces that you are spending the most time in and work on fixing them up. If you're spending a lot of time in one room that is your office room, focus on that. If you're spending a lot of time in your living room, focus on that one. You don't have to make everything perfect to make your living space feel nicer at the moment. The other thing is I'm a real advocate of having some kind of sanctuary room to go to. So it might be your bedroom, it might be a TV den if you're lucky enough to have one of those, but something that you shut off and that you make look beautiful and calm and fresh, and maybe you splash out on a few key pieces just to make that feel lovely. And you shut the door on that room as much as possible, and you only go in there when you need to escape from the hustle and bustle and the stress of the day. I think that's really helpful. And a good thing for that room as well is to fill it with nice scents. Invest in a really nice room diffuser or something, and then when you go in there will be a marked change in the atmosphere as you go in, and that will really help with your stress levels. I should say as well, in the July issue of Your Home, which will be on sale at the end of the month, we have some really lovely bedroom makeovers. So if you do want to make your bedroom that sanctuary space, that's a really good thing to look out for.
Great. Okay. What about your working space? Because a lot of us are now working from home for the first time ever. What are your tips for sort of making our office or our home desks ergonomically friendly and places that we want to spend time?
I'm aware that I'm relatively lucky on this front because I do actually have a room that I can use. And before lockdown, this was just a room full of boxes. It's not the most glamorous room even now, but I have been able to put some bits and pieces up, bring some plants in here, things that just make it feel more like a nice office, a nice place to spend all of my time in. So if you were to look over this way or too much over this way, you would see an awful lot of boxes. I'd
like to see that. Come on, let's have a look.
I have deep shame. But yes, so our office spaces, whatever your space is, wherever you're working, the first thing you need to make sure is that you are sitting correctly. Because if you are sitting in an uncomfortable way, there's nothing I can tell you that will make your working day better.
I think you need to sit up straight now.
We've seen a real increase in people buying office desks But I think what we should probably be seeing is an increase in people buying office chairs, because an office, you can bodge your setup for your desk to a certain amount. You can stick a book under your screen. You can put your keyboard at a different height. But with your chair, you have less flexibility, and that's the thing that would really improve how comfortable you are, and limit your need for a physiotherapist after lockdown. So invest in a good chair. Also, the NHS has a really good guide to sitting comfortably at work. So if you just Google those phrases, it will come up, and it's really key. I would also say, I think a lot of people are finding that the world of home is interfering with the world of work. So if you can spend 20 minutes at the top of the day just decluttering, getting rid of all of that stuff that's not relevant to work. If you think about when you go to the office, how efficient is your first 10, 20 minutes of the day? It's not very efficient, is it? You're having a chat, you're making a cup of tea, you're dealing with things that aren't work related. We don't have that at home, so we can spend that time to make sure that our workspace is as nice as possible.
Great.
And I mean, I'm a keen advocate of plants. I think they really help at the moment. They help detoxify the air. They really connect you with nature, which if you're self-isolating, and I've had to do a bit of self-isolating, it really helps with that actually. And they're just nice things to have around. They make you feel comforted somehow.
That's true. If you don't kill them all off like I normally do. But
don't water them too much. Once a week is
good
enough
advice
for most.
I've been doing that. And lots of us have got more time, as you said, on our hands, and spending time at home. Are there any DIY projects that you think are good to spend time on now?
Yeah, so the thing we've noticed with DIY is obviously people are throwing themselves into it. We've seen a great increase in Google search terms for doing DIY. We've also seen a great increase in DIY disasters. Since lockdown, we've had 11 million DIY disasters as Brits, and nearly 7 million injuries from DIY. So my advice for anyone who wants to do DIY is, honestly, be prepared, and be more prepared than you would be outside of lockdown, because it's not as easy to get hold of any tools that you need halfway through the job or things like that as and when they come up. If you are looking for DIY projects to do at the moment for a bit of creativity, we've got some great projects in the June issue of Your Home, which is on sale at the moment. We've got some really cute geometric hexagonal shelves that you can put up yourself at home, which is a really, really sweet project. And then for something meatier, something more for the more DIY, people with greater DIY skills, I would recommend the How to Lay Your Own Decking masterclass, which is in the issue that is currently on sale. But yeah, the advice is really make sure you've got absolutely everything you need. Don't forget, we're in track and trace world now, where you might have to shut down your front door for 14 days at any given point, and you won't just be able to pop out to the nearest DIY shop and get your supplies. So you need to know that you're ready to go before you start.
Okay. You've told us. Be prepared. We're definitely going to be prepared. Stay alert. Be prepared.
Oh, no, not stay alert. Don't bring that into it.
That's great. Thanks so much, Mel. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Oliver.
Hello.
Take the mic. How are you?
I'm all right, actually. Yeah, not bad at all down in sunny Bristol.
Good.
It's pretty sunny anyway.
So tell us, Oliver, how can music keep our spirits lifted during this time when we're spending a lot of time on our own or at home?
Hugely. You know, hearing the sort of talking about sort of DIY disasters and cooking, sort of people reluctant to do cooking. I have to say that music's helped me in every part of my life since lockdown. It's almost as if I have either Radio 3 on, or I have my collection on various speakers around the home almost every single moment of the day. And, you know, being a practicing musician has helped me as well. I have the piano to my right. And then just sitting down and just because I am on my own in the house, it brings a huge amount of solace. Actually having that sort of sound around is very comforting. And it's been a great time for me to discover music as well. Over the past 2-3 years, there's been a revolution in digital music, so that you don't have to just rely on the music on your shelves. You know, the streaming sites have been there a while, but now is the time really to sort of get good quality listening into your house through Sonos, through home through good quality headphones. You know, you talked about investing in good quality DIY stuff and good quality things to improve your home. I would say invest in good quality hi-fi equipment, good quality headphones, good quality speakers, things that are going to do the purpose. You know, a tinny radio is never going to bring you much pleasure, but you know, spend a bit of extra money on it, and you'll find that your life is enhanced so much.
And you talked about streamlining there. What have been the best online streaming performances to catch or coming up?
Well, in terms of the problem is with coronavirus has devastated the arts world, as we know, theatre, galleries, and particularly musicians who basically live from one gig to the next. And at least with musicians, there is the option to stream from home. All you need is a mobile phone, a good quality broadband connection, Wi-Fi connection, and you know you're broadcasting to potentially an audience of hundreds of thousands. And there have been some artists that have really grabbed that opportunity. Pianists such as Igor Levit, who is famous for his wonderful complete cycle of Beethoven sonatas, has been performing those online to audiences absolutely free of charge. There have been a duo who live together, who are married, called Elena Uroste and Tom Poster, who have just been performing every single day and have even had composers writing music for them. You've had people like Wynton Marsalis, the great jazz and classical trumpeter, who've done online masterclasses and got people together. And then you've got the massive, great big outfits like the Berlin Philharmonic and New York Metropolitan Opera House, who have been putting their performances online, either archive performances in terms of the Opera House or even the Berlin Philharmonic, who have been doing socially distanced chamber recitals from the Philharmonie in Berlin. There's a whole richness of both individual performances and archive orchestral concerts and opera for people to dive into. The only problem is that how do we find time in the day to see all these things? So it's just a question of going in and experiencing. Turn on the radio. Wigmore Hall have started doing live concerts without an audience, of course, but broadcast live on Radio 3 and visually on their website. So I think there's a lot of imagination going on, and I think it's going to reshape the music world, hopefully in some way for the good. There has to be some good to come out of this, because a lot of musicians are losing their livelihoods, and it's heartbreaking to watch. You know, the Birmingham Hippodrome, the news today was that they're making redundancies and could close. The Royal Opera House is in trouble. The Albert Hall could close. The South Bank don't want to open till April 21. You know, this is sad, but there are upshots.
And is now a time? Is it a good time now to learn how to play an instrument if you've never picked up a flute before or learn the piano? What's the best thing to learn to do if you're wanting to make the most of this time?
You don't have to get a proper piano into your house. You can get digital pianos into your house that are pretty good, that feel and sound almost exactly like a piano. There are an awful lot of teachers out there who are willing to give online lessons as well, and let's not forget the voice as well. We all have a voice, so actually taking part in choral singing and actually, you know, trying to get that up to scratch is also an option. People have some people have been furloughed, some people haven't, so some people have more time in the day to do this. I would say that there's an awful lot of tutorials on YouTube. There are an awful lot of advice on websites to learn an instrument. You know, now you might find the concentrated time to do it, whereas before we were in much more of a routine, commuting to work, commuting back from work. You know, think of the time that we've saved now. With a little bit of willpower, we can devote some of that time to the skills we've always wanted to get a hand on. So give it a go.
I'm not sure my neighbours would thank you for that advice, Oliver, but thanks anyway. Well, thank you very much, Lulu, Mel and Oliver, and thank you all for joining us, and have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Thursday. Bye-bye.